addressing our environmental responsibilities makes also good business sense. It is an issue which we would like you to address. It is our expectation also from you, from the business community, to address environmental responsibilities much more seriously than has been done so far. This affects the responsibilities of the whole country. We have two extremes. We have the large industrial operations which address more or less their environmental impacts. We have households which are getting much more conscious of their environmental responsibilities, but we have a large chunk in the middle which is not yet sufficiently aware of its environmental responsibilities. We are speaking of a business community made up 99% of SMEs, which employ around 90,000 employees. That is close to 80% of the workforce. So addressing your environmental responsibilities is not just good business sense, it is a way of effectively addressing your corporate social responsibility.
More than anything, that we have self-employed or very small businesses who are scared to grow, scared to employ, and then use maybe different ways of employing or get subcontracting and working, rather than accommodating and looking what they need in order to make, again, these companies grow to the SMEs and then to the big ones. Because don't underestimate, big companies started small. So we have to go back and start our thinking. I think instead of having so many technocrats at the European Parliament, I think we need maybe more business people, where we say, put on your thinking hat, think again, what happened, why has it changed, are we being too over-regulated, are we trying to be too technical, right across the border, and losing out on what is the dynamics of business, you know, the flexibility and all. I mean, like Joe said, we are, I think, Europe in general, and it's not a bad idea that we get our education, our development of our human beings on the top right, on the supply side, but we have to create the demand. I mean, in fact, all the social issues we have now is because the supply is there, the demand is not there. Or the demand is different to the supply we have generated. So that, I think, Europe, and especially the European Parliament, have a big role to bring that out and gives the right direction as well to the Commission, not to over-regulate, but rather keep this flexibility, listen to the member states, because otherwise we create a Europe of different dimensions.
Someone mentioned the famous phrase, one size fits all. I think sometimes one size fits to all, actually. And I need to hammer a bit on the accounting directive. I'm obviously an accountant by profession and also a member of the academic staff at the university. Unfortunately, there has been a misconception even in that event, Peter, and I think I need to get things straight even with my learned colleagues. There's a very important distinction between management accounting and financial accounting. Management accounting is something internally and any business. Now obviously if you're talking about the sole trader, he's the owner, he's the manager, he knows what's happening. Per se, he doesn't need any accounting information except for to fulfill statutory obligations. Now obviously what the directive was talking about is the external financial reporting. And something which we need more research about even in this tiny island, and this is where your issue of small states comes into play, is that we need to answer the question, who are the users of accounting information in this country? And obviously the users in this country are different from the users possible in London, where you have a fully fledged stock market. The users are different possibly even in Luxembourg. But the fact is we need more research. And again, to tie up with what George mentioned, having a centre for excellence in teaching and research.
And the political framework is this for the next 5 years. Europe is going to face increasing threats to its business model and to its social model. It has not been delivering over the past 5 years. It has been in recession. It has underperformed in comparison to the other regional blocks. And now we're talking about growth, but growth that is not going to translate into employment. So that is going to be a big threat. At the same time, I envisage that we're going to face threats, challenges to our business model, the meeting business model. The way in which Europe is facing up to the challenges are rational from the perspective of the big countries, from the perspective of Germany, from the perspective of Italy, from the perspective of Spain, from the perspective of France, not at all interesting from our perspective. They are going to be effective. Our business model based on financial services, on internet gaming, on industrial development, on SMEs. In a way, because it relates to what has been already quoted as being one-size-fits-all. Our financial services, in a way, are related to the whole concept of tax avoidance. Yes? If you read Jacques Attali, about a year back in L'Express, he mentioned Malta as among those tax havens which need to be eliminated from the perspective of a united framework within which the Eurozone can be managed. And he's probably right. If you look at what were made headlines in Spain this weekend, that the 6 biggest electronic companies, Google, Yahoo, whatever, only paid 1.25 million euros in tax in Spain. So obviously there's a political goal to be a political momentum to cut on that kind of situation. And that is going to affect, yes, our business model. As part of the Eurozone, our flexibility, along with several other Eurozone countries, is related now to the only tool which seems to prevail in the Eurozone to create flexibility, internal devaluation. Now, internal devaluation hits immediately at the social model we follow in Malta, which is followed in Germany, which is followed in Greece, which is followed in Italy. Because that's the only way by which internal devaluation can be moved forward, by attacking the social dimension. And this is going to create political problems. Political problems across Europe, not just in Malta, perhaps. So I think we have to watch about this. Because there are lots of contradictions that are not really getting explained. For instance, in Europe at the moment, youth unemployment is the biggest source of concern. And there are lots of initiatives about how this should be tackled. But by following the same logic from another perspective, we look at how people are getting older and older and older, and we say, look, pension age has got to increase. Isn't that a contradiction? On the one hand, you try to get young people into jobs. On the other hand, at the same time, you keep people with jobs because they have to work longer. Now, there's a logic for one and a logic for one, but these two are not connected with themselves. And this is, in my view, a problem that is going to affect Malta as well, unless we watch out for our interests. And this is what I can promise you from a political perspective. That my first interest, if elected, will be to defend Malta's interests, your interest in that cause.
I strongly believe that having politicians with a business background means that we speak the same language. The wrong thing is if we make politics a business, but let's keep business there. Problems we have, and problems we will always have, and threats and challenges. The difference is, how do you face these issues? How do you tackle these issues? Let's be part of the solution and not the problem. Aware that yes, we will have challenges, like any business, like any small industry, like any small entrepreneur. And I concur with what you said, and we had valid comments as well, and different angles. The think small. Yes, my slogan, sorry, I'm not here to promote my slogan, but my slogan is primarily think Europe, act local. Why did I choose that? We have to work on a European level. We need to think on a European level, but we need to have the flexibility to make the results on a local level. And when I say local level, not in statistics, in funding and this, we need to make the citizen tangible of what we are achieving on a business, on a social, and multi-levels. And that's why I'm saying think Europe, act local. We have the parameters of the EU, we have the umbrella, and then we have to have the skills to work within these and see which is the best glove for us. And we have 5 fingers, and sometimes a glove doesn't feel comfortable even on the same hand. So it is a challenge. One of the benefits of the European Union is, people think it's funding and free movement. For me, it's the sense of belonging between citizens. But it's also the biggest challenge, to make 500 million citizens feel tangible and feel part of this EU. And the economy and the business level is not easy as well. It's a big challenge. We had Angela Merkel, Barroso say, we had a good economy last year. Granted, success to the previous administration, but not just that. Success to the citizens, to the business people, organizations such as yours. That's where the credit is. I always believed it myself. We employ people, not the government. We create jobs, not the government. The government is there to create an economy and the environment to stimulate such. And we have to work in hand, and this is why such initiatives are good. We have to work together, but we have to speak the language that people want to speak.